reminder that we've been talking about overcoming extraordinary circumstances and owning what you got. I've been talking to Tanya Angus, who has acromegaly/gigantism since the age of 19. There she is right there. Dealing with that now on a daily basis. She is about 7 feet tall, weighing 400 pounds. Having at 19 been a normal 19-year-old girl, actually having been asked to have a modeling career, and this condition kicked in. There she is at the age of 19. Joining me to discuss her condition is a special guest. Her name is Ann Bartley, and she heard you were going to be on the show tonight with us, Tanya, and wanted to Skype in. And Ann, you're now an active duty, did you say at Fort Bragg? Is that where you are?
Yes, dear, that's right.
And you yourself have been diagnosed with acromegaly. Look at that. Well, let's see if we can see. There you are. Tanya, just so you can know, it says, I heart Tanya, Acromegaly Community Hero.
Oh my gosh. She always has surprises for me.
So tell us what happened to you, Ann. You love Ann?
I love her dearly.
So Ann, tell us your story. You also were a young woman. You were in your normal condition, and what started happening?
I've been struggling with symptoms that I didn't know were actually acromegaly for a couple of years, which is what's very dangerous about this condition. And then about 30 days before I was ready to go on a mission is when they really started getting bad numbness and tingling, swelling in my hands and feet, a headache and sweating. Luckily the numbness and tingling was causing me the most trouble, so they ordered an MRI thinking I had MS. So and that's what finally got the pituitary looked at, and they identified the tumor. So I was lucky.
You know, as I recall, the growth hormone secreting pituitary tumors are the second most common after the prolactin secreting tumors. And did they do, in your case, a transnodal resection as well?
Yep, I had my surgery in December, on December 1st. So I'm about 9 months through my recovery.
That's great. Again, a reminder that the pituitary is the big gland in the middle. It's sort of the master control gland in your body. And then one of the things it produces is growth hormone. It regulates our growth. It regulates the adrenal glands. It regulates the thyroid gland. It regulates your ovarian function and testicular function. And in this case, it begins producing too much growth hormone. The other tumor that can occur in the pituitary gland is the most common one, is secreting prolactin. And the way they take these things out is by going in through here, right above the teeth, and digging up into the pituitary and taking these tumors out. And well, you're cringing, Ann, when I say that. Why? You had it done. You did it.
I'm still numb. I'm still numb on my nose and my lips.
That will probably come back. All right, let's take a quick call. Michelle in Pennsylvania. Michelle.
Hi, Dr. Drew. I was diagnosed with acromegaly actually by accident about after 10 years and 15 different doctors and specialists. They never thought or tried to figure out why. They just kept putting Band-Aids on the symptoms with either more medications or surgery. But being a teacher, my middle school and high school students always saw it. They saw something was off. My hands were large, and I looked different. So I would like to say as a teacher that I give my doctors a big red F for failing me. Because really, if the kids could see it, why can't the trained medical professionals see this? And why do we have to wait 10 years for a diagnosis?
Does any of you have an answer to that? Because I don't.
Yes, I have an answer.
Go ahead. Let's hear from Karen real quick. Karen, go.
The answer is getting the message out to the medical field and to the community, to the people, so that when they start recognizing it and the doctors go in and say, hey, I might have this, because we have to be our own advocates.
I agree with Karen. I would caution people, and the way I think about it is the following. Stop thinking in terms of symptoms and treatment relief of the symptoms. Think in terms of diagnosis. Why are you having recurrent carpal tunnel? Why are you having a facial nerve paralysis? Why are all these, how do we tie all these things together using something called Occam's razor, the simplest explanation that takes all of this together, and we don't do that anymore. We're busy just going, okay, you're going to feel better, let's do this to you. And we don't stop and think about it. I agree with you guys. Wayne in Buffalo. Wayne, you got a comment?
Dr. Drew. I actually wanted to say hello to three of my favorite ladies. I know all of them. And,
Hi, Wayne.
and when Ann put up the sign that Tanya is the hero of Acromegaly Community, first of all, she is. And second of all, I'm actually the creator of Acromegaly Community. And I created it because, like what Tanya said, when I was first diagnosed, there was no information out there outside of the fact that I'm ready to die from this horrible disease. And the great thing is, and it's a very manageable disease, and the key is to stay on your doctors, at least I feel. And when you're complaining that you don't feel well, to keep going back, to keep getting yourself hurt, because I complained for over a decade before I finally found the right endocrinologist who knew immediately as I was walking down the hall what was wrong.
Yeah, again, this is a great, although it wasn't the intention theme of the show, which was, again, dealing with what you're dealt, I agree with this theme, which is, keep going back, make sure you have an ombudsman that's communicating with you, a primary care person, and you keep working things through until you get a firm, cohesive diagnosis. Got to take a break. More with my guest after the break and your call.